About CLI commands, we will discuss towards the end how these CLI commands will work. One complete overview, list of commands I will give you towards the end. But situation wise, these commands we will discuss. Finally, I will give you a complete list. So situation wise, what commands we are learning, those are enough currently. Later, you will have a complete idea of those CLI commands. Actually, so the purpose is nothing but CLI is a command line interface tool, command line interface tool. It provides a set of commands used to handle Angular application from console. That means you can create components, services, pipes, classes, interfaces, etc. You can configure library and packages for components, right? All these things we can do by using CLI commands. So it improves the development process by using a technique called scaffolding technique. Actually, scaffolding is nothing but it is a technique. Actually, this scaffolding term came from a technology called Ruby. And the concept of scaffolding is nothing but all web technologies are using this scaffolding techniques now. Scaffolding means you tell what you want and whatever the code needed for that, it will generate for you. That is great. That is good. It identifies all the dependencies and it will keep all the dependencies wherever they need to be. That means you don't need to worry about registering your component. You don't need to worry about the structuring of your component. Everything it will take care. You don't need to worry about adding files for your component. It will take care. That means you can add the components. By using a CLI command, so that it will take care of everything. It will add everything for you. Let's see how to do that. How do we do that? Generally, for that, what we need to do is just we need to run a command. Go to your Angular project. In the Angular project, already in one terminal, we are compiling our project. So don't stop it. Our project is compiling and successfully running. So keep it like that. Open another terminal. You open another terminal. So that means another terminal is see here you have a plus button. So you have the plus button at the bottom. See, this is our terminal. In the terminal, you just click this plus button. So we are adding a new terminal. Okay. another terminal is added. Make sure that you are in the same project, means the same project folder. Many people, without changing into that project folders, try to run ng commands and all, ng serve and all. Due to that, they will catch up with error, right? You have to be inside this. Okay, then now what you have to do is, here you need to define a simple command. I need to create a component. Then how to create a component? How to create a component? So to create a component, we have to just write a command. The command is nothing but, so there are shortcut ways, and the actual point is ng generate and component and component name. You have to use ng generate component and component name. So which component you want to generate, you have to define the component name. We have to generate the component name. This is how we can define, and the component name. So you can just define this. That means, so what you have to do is open a new terminal. So by clicking that plus, you can open a new terminal. Second, you can use the following commands. So in the terminal, ng generate component and a component name, or you can use ng gc and a component name. You can use these two. But what happens actually is, when you define a component, shortcut is this. When you define a component like this, what will happen here is, it will generate a component. These commands are used to generate component with separate files. That means these commands generate a component with four files. So what are those four files? One is component dot, so here name dot component dot ts, name dot component dot html, and name dot component dot css, and name dot component dot ts spec. That means it will generate a spec file. Spec file is test file. That means that is used for testing. And currently we don't need testing. Testing is towards the end. But by default, it will generate a test file also. That means this spec file is, this is for testing. So by default, it will generate all of them. So I don't want testing. If I don't want testing, then what you can do is, so you can write the command like this: ng generate component -- skip test is equal to true. That means test file will be ignored. To skip the test file, you can simply write ignored. Lot of commands are there, I will tell you. but this is to ignore the test file.